Now, tech investor Mark Andreessen is calling it a Sputnik moment for artificial intelligence. Now, it's no secret, of course, that the U.S. and China have been in an AI arms race. The U.S. has tried to block Beijing, as Claire was just saying, from accessing its high-end chips, putting quotas on chips other nations can buy in order to prevent their resale. It's also stopped China from buying certain chip-making equipment. Now, DeepSeek apparently building a powerful platform despite all of those curbs. Michelle Giuda is the CEO of the Kratch Institute for Tech Diplomacy at Purdue University, and she joins us now. Really good to see you and have you weigh in on this. Okay, I want to talk kind of, big, medium, small. So if we deal with the big picture, let's talk about geopolitics and the economic consequences first. Do you think China's boast here, and they are boasting about it with DeepSeek, is a wake-up call to the U.S.? And if so, why?
It's absolutely a wake-up call, and I think it continues all of the momentum that the United States has placed on becoming the global leader in the world capital for artificial intelligence. We saw a big announcement last week with the Stargate project and a number of private sector companies joining in, including OpenAI, to make sure that the United States leads and that we unleash our own innovation and our energy in order to do that. And this just doubles down on that imperative. Our long-term reality is that we need to be the global leader in AI with our trusted allies and partners so that it reflects our interests and our values and not that of China and the Chinese Communist Party.
But how best to do that? Because it does seem as if the Biden administration was trying that.
Well, we have to do what we do best. We have to do it faster, smarter, and better, and that's innovate at scale. So the question is, how do we launch our next 10 Stargate projects? How do we unleash even further American energy across all forms of energy in order to power that innovation? How do we graduate more engineers? The Kroc Institute is at Purdue University. Purdue's going to graduate more engineers than any other top university in the country. How do we do that even greater? There need to be 10 more Purdue's. So we need more engineers, we need more energy, we need more innovation. The good news is that's our superpower. We just need to do it faster.
Now, I want to go to the medium picture then, and this would be these American companies themselves, whether it's a chip or the modeling or the AI infrastructure. Is it true that you believe that these companies can spend a lot less right now? And that might pit one competitor against the other, but in general, in terms of the economic architecture of this, wouldn't this look better for all companies?
I think we'll find out in the coming days. I think as we see today, the markets are reacting, and they're reacting to DeepSeek's self-reported information that did this thing on the cheap. And I think we'll find out. There's a lot of question marks around that. And you asked if I believe it. Do we trust what a Chinese company has put out? And I think if we look at the Chinese playbook, whether it's a government or companies over time, we know that they often fudge some of their self-reported numbers. So maybe they made it this cheap, maybe they didn't. And I think we'll learn that in the coming days. Either way, I think it's a nice catalyst for American companies, the United States, and partners and allies across the world to make sure that we are doubling down on our efforts to lead in AI.
And, our correspondent there, Claire Duffy, said this as much. This is China, once again, understanding and proving, they say, that they can actually beat the United States at its own game. Gosh, it makes the TikTok concern seem so 2024 right now. In the here and now, should consumers worry about China and AI? I mean, should you even download this app, even if it is better? What difference will it make to who has your information and what they do with it?
Well, it all comes down to trust. Do you trust a Chinese company? Do you trust an app that's owned by a Chinese company with your information, with its algorithms? That's a big question around TikTok. It was the same question around Huawei that many, many countries across the world have banned because they don't trust it. And so trust is the ultimate question here. And that's why the technology of the future has to be trusted technology. And it's not just on governments or business leaders to be thinking about this, but to your point, the more that American citizens and consumers are tracking this, the more empowered we'll be.
And finally, before I let you go, would you use it? Have you used it? Have you noticed anything about it that we should all be cluing into?
I have not used it. I don't make a habit out of downloading Chinese apps for those very reasons, because I value my own privacy. But in talking to a lot of folks, I think there's definitely some really good capabilities, and then some questionable, including translation and other things. So I think we're talking to a number of sources, both in government and in tech, that are pressure testing and stress testing the platform and just how competitive remains to be seen. But either way, a good nudge for the United States.
A nudge, and as we pointed out, likely good, smart people in the United States and around the world, quite frankly, working on this open sourcing right now and having to figure out how they did it. Michelle Giuda, thanks so much for explaining all that to us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.